Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in and watching this. We really appreciate it. I'm here today with Joshua DuBois, who is Director of the Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships. We're here to talk about Father's Day and fathers. And the first thing I want to do is find out from you, what is the Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships, and how does it relate to fathers?
Well, first, it's a mouthful, isn't it?
It really is.
So the White House Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships is President Obama's effort to connect to local organizations around the country that are doing good and support them in their good work, faith-based and secular organizations. Through centers for faith-based and neighborhood partnerships all across government, from the Department of Labor to USDA, and of course here at HUD, we work through those centers to resource and support local congregations and nonprofits that are serving people in need. For example, our center at HUD works with local congregations to help prevent foreclosure among their congregants. As you know, we work on fatherhood. We work on issues related to Native American communities out of our center at HUD, and so many other things. It's basically the faith-based engagement effort of the Obama administration.
Great. So I know that you have a White House Fatherhood group, because I'm a member of that.
That's
and
right.
We really appreciate it. Can you talk a little bit about the Fatherhood group and what the Fatherhood group does and how it can help our local housing authorities on Father's Day?
Absolutely. Well, Michael Stratmanis, the senior advisor in the Office of Public Engagement in the White House, along with myself, have been working with President Obama for several years now to lead the President's Fatherhood and Mentoring Initiative. This initiative is really the President's effort to encourage responsible fatherhood all around the country, noting that we're facing a real challenge with a lot of families where dads aren't around, a lot of moms who are having to do it all by themselves. The President sees this challenge both from a policy perspective, but also as a father, someone who loves his two little girls dearly, and for whom fatherhood is the most important part of his life, and also as someone who grew up without his own father in his life. And so he understands this issue personally and intimately. And so the President has asked us to do everything we can to encourage responsible fatherhood around the country. We do that through public policy. We've increased funding for local fatherhood programs. We do that through local engagement. We have a series of events called Fatherhood Heroes, where we're helping to honor dads who are overcoming the odds and being there for their families. And we do it through partnerships with wonderful agencies like HUD. One of the best aspects of this work, one of the things we've become most excited about, is the good work that public housing authorities are doing. Last year on Father's Day, the local Father's Day fairs around the country were just outstanding, and we've been talking about it here at the White House all year long. So we're excited about the coming year.
All right, so that's good, because my housing authorities out there need that kind of encouragement.
Right.
They need the encouragement, because a lot of times, HUD, we're putting the message out. We send weekly emails out, but it's good for housing authorities to get a sense that this is not just public housing and HUD. This is the federal government.
It's the federal government, and quite frankly, it's the country. This is one of the biggest challenges we're facing as a country, is dads who are not involved, not engaged, and sometimes don't feel valued. And the fact that we are throwing the doors of the Housing Authority open and saying we're going to create a space for fathers on this one day is a wonderful thing. The President is excited about this work. Everyone I talk to, from major partners like the NFL and Major League Baseball and others, they are saying, how can we get involved in HUD's Father's Day work? And so I would encourage every housing authority around the country, to the extent that you're able to participate in it, and importantly, let us know how we can support this work.
Great.
What kind of partners we can bring to the table, how we can connect with other agencies, how we can help you make a successful Father's Day fair.
Okay, so one of the things that we're doing this year is we're sending the pledge, the White House Fatherhood Pledge. We're going to send that to our housing authorities and ask our housing authorities to get the guys to sign the pledge. Can you talk a little bit about that pledge?
Sure. It's the way for individual fathers and those who support fatherhood to formally connect up with the President's Fatherhood and Mentoring Initiative. Once you sign the pledge card, you'll begin receiving updates and be a part of a network of folks around the country who are a part of the President's Fatherhood and Mentoring Initiative. It's a way to sign on the dotted line and say, this issue is important for me, for fathers to do that and for others to do that as well.
That's great. Now, one last piece, and that is Father's Day is obviously important, and we're gearing for Father's Day, but we want to keep this initiative going. We don't want it just to be a one-shot deal where Father's Day and fathers and children bond, and then the next day nothing happens. So what kinds of things can our housing authorities do after Father's Day?
Well, there's probably not a one-size-fits-all approach, but I think the important thing is to scan the various programs and aspects of the authority and think about it through the lens of fathers. Oftentimes, and for very important reasons, we think about the tremendous and important concerns of young people, the concerns that single mothers are facing as well. But oftentimes, dads kind of get left out of the conversation a bit.
True.
And so I think it's up to each public housing authority to think about how can we bring some of these young men who have been disconnected, who don't necessarily feel engaged and valued and a part of what's happening, how can we bring them in? And it's a difficult thing. It's a challenging thing, but it's extraordinarily rewarding. By the way, we've seen our colleagues in another part of the federal system over at HHS really do that in another program, and that's our child support programs. Over there, it used to be child support used to be pretty squarely about enforcement, in a kind of a law enforcement and enforcement approach. But they've begun to think, how can we bring fathers into the mix so that we increase child support collections, but also help families stay together at the same time? I think the exact same thing can happen at public housing authorities, and so many are beginning to do that already.
Right. And just to let you know, we have another YouTube that's with Vicki Turetsky.
Oh, great.
Who is a commissioner of child support, and that's exactly what she was talking about. How does child support become not an enforcement arm, an agency that a father might want to duck, but actually to sit down with and work out what my payment plan can be? How do I become legal? How do I connect with my kids?
Yeah.
Right. So we're doing some of that. How about schools? I mean, one of the ideas we had was the first day back to school, fathers walking their children back the first day of school. Do you see some people doing something?
Yes, absolutely. Arnie Duncan, our Secretary of Education, has made it a real priority to lift up fatherhood engagement in school. In fact, we did an event with him and dads around last Father's Day. There are great organizations like the Watchdogs program, Dads of Great Students, that really seek to bring fathers into the school. I believe the Black Star Project out of Chicago does a Fathers March every back to school season where dads are taking their kids to school. So I would really encourage folks to look at what's already happening in the local community. If there's not anything happening, you can obviously start it yourself. So
right.
There's a lot of good work happening with dads in schools.
Okay. So I want to thank you, Joshua DuBois from the White House Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnership Office, and look forward to continuing to work with you.
Well, I'm excited, and you have a special treat. You're going to hear from Michael Strautmanis, one of President Obama's close friends and longest-serving folks in the White House and in the entire Obama operation. He's going to talk about fatherhood in just a moment.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.